Would like me to say something to you about that the sound that you hear, as Rinpoche calls it, the ding ding. So the ding ding is actually comes from old Gar monastery tradition. There is this instrument that they like a very specific piece that they have been using for generations, and it was this piece, this instrument was kept in the home of the Nangchen king, and the Nangchen king considered it as very precious. And once a year, the Nangchen king, there was a tradition for the Nangchen king to bring that instrument out, and then they play it in the public, and then they bring it back to the king's house. And then so finally it also came to Gar monastery, and that was during the time that Rinpoche was in prison. And for 20 years, then this ding ding, the instrument was sort of lost. So it kind of started to kind of wander around from place to place. So different lamas took it, and eventually it ended up really far away. It was close to Lhasa, but 2 days of car driving. Eventually a different lama got that ding ding. And so one time, Rinpoche had a friend, his name was Chincham, and this friend had a relative who was a lama teaching in that area where that instrument happened to be. And so then he saw that, oh, there's this instrument, I need to get it back. It's been lost for 20 years. So then he bought that ding ding back, and he brought it back to the monastery. And so it's a really old tradition, and especially the older monks in Gar monastery, they feel very very connected to this instrument. So even now, when they hear this particular ding ding, this sound, then they many of them start to cry.
Opening prayers in the Yellow Prayer Book, page 1. All Mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. All Mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. For that purpose, until I attain Buddhahood, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Until death, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. From today until this time tomorrow, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue.
Sanjo Nimbo Cheche Par Sanje Namla Japsum Che Chudan Sanjo Sumba Ye Solan Tepjen Japsum Che Chedan Kunje Tershe Che Sanjo Tune Che Bata Sanjo Samba La Bala Teta Rimjen Ne Bata Tepjen Rola Pendonda Sanjo Ne Jip Tepjen Tuna La Bala Ramba Jenda La Barje.
I take refuge in the Buddhas until attaining the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhichitta and progressed along the Bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and practice the stages of the Bodhisattva's path. I take refuge in the Buddhas until attaining the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the Bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and practice the stages of the Bodhisattva's path.
Sanje Chudan Chujen Chonam La Sanjo Pardudan Japsum Che Dakbe Jinso Jimbe Sonam Che Rola Penso Sanje Drupasho.
Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings.
Devadan Deve Jodan Demba Ju Donghadan Dongha Je Jodan Dava Ju Dongha Mebe Devadan Mamdava Ju Nyeren Jodan Yedan Donyola Neba Ju.
May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mothers, sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Guru Rinpoche Sadhana.
Guru Rinpoche Sadhana, page 1.
Jarwanam Jachu Jarpan Sotan Chujeta Papanchen Landrache Telezambo Tungundrupeka Tenzen Dondo Lodo Chujeja Ma Bime Jam Sendan Chuje Jam Sen Mahamendun Sen Ten Ben Zejin Chuje sentient Lama Yapsela Nene Sonde Garchen Rinpoche Jotung Zowar Singelo Samdup Chijin Kemen Jene Nidong Chugajar Sarab Sente Samaje Wajinje Parmaju Gechin Takbeshin Drupaju.
Page 1. Protector of the blissful land, Amitabha, Buddha of infinite light, Avalokiteshvara, venerated Padmasambhava, noble lady Yeshi Sogyo, Princess Pema Sao, great Tirtan Padma Lingpa, Siddha Salpal Zang, Gyalwan Namchak, Chokyao Punsok, Choki Drakpa, and Penshin Lundrup, Trinley Zangpo, Dundun Drupe Pao, Tenzin Drodro, Lotrol Choki Gyao, Choki Nima, Pema Gyamsen, Choki Gyamsen, Maha Manju, Tenpa Zegyen, and Chodni Norbu. Root Guru, Father and your sons, I beseech you from the bottom of my heart, please dispel adversity and obstacles. Please bestow your blessings to attain common and supreme accomplishments. Having realized all wishes that accord with the Dharma unobstructedly, may I seize the royal seat of the Dharmakaya, the final truth, and enter the sublime Pure Land, great bliss, without reliving a samsaric birth. Namo, to the Guru who embodies all of those gone to bliss, and whose nature is the triple gem. I and all beings of the six realms take refuge until we reach awakening. Namo, to the Guru who embodies all those gone to bliss, and whose nature is the triple gem. I and all beings of the six realms take refuge until we reach awakening. Having given rise to bodhichitta and accomplished the Guru for the sake of all beings, I vow to free the six realms by acts that tame all beings according to their needs. Having given rise to bodhichitta and accomplished the Guru for the sake of all beings, I vow to free the six realms by acts that tame all beings according to their needs.
Nyeda peme dena yo 的真土现下，上合之乐界业障，免之上合群可歌，让人们的心中有。念不生前吞生我，让得度解吞度修。
Guru and assembly of Yidam deities, please come here and be seated on this throne of lotus, sun, and moon. I sincerely pay homage with my body, speech, and mind, and I make outer, inner, and secret offerings. I openly confess all impaired and broken vows, evil deeds, and obscurations. I rejoice in the accomplishment of secret mantra. Please turn the secret mantra Dharma wheel that matures and liberates. I pray, do not pass into nirvana, but continue to remain for the benefit of others. I dedicate the heart essence for the sake of sentient beings. May they realize the true meaning of Vajra.
Om Gane Dojita Om Pe Om Sobhava Yuddha Sarvada Sobhava Yuddha Bhan Dong Benga Om Le Song Ve Rinpoche Nu Yang Shen Jia Je Na Om A Hong Shiva Le Song Durma Tangshen Toba Me Be Soba Me Dewa Jina Nongka Danyamba Ju.
From emptiness arises from which appears jeweled vessel, broad and vast. Within it, Ah, and Hong emerge into a pure and unimpeded torma that produces extraordinary, flawless bliss and that fills the boundaries of space.
Om Ahum, Om Ahum, Om Ahum, Om Akaramakansa, Dharmana Ade Dube Nadut, Om Ahum Pesova, Om Akaramakansa Dharma. Ade Dube Naduda Om Ahum Peso Om Akaramakansa Dharma Ade Dube Naduda Om Ahum Peso Devjin Shikpa Rinchen Ma Samsalo Devjin Shikpa Zungze Dambala Sam Devjin Shikpa Kunjam Le La Samsa Devjin Shikpa Jikpa Tamche Da Yongsa Jarva Samsa Lu.
Homage to the Tathagata many jewels. Homage to the Tathagata sublime form. Homage to the Tathagata limitless body. Homage to the Tathagata beyond all fear. Home, spirits who obstruct accomplishments inside the three roots mandala, accept this turma offering and leave, going someplace else.
Sambane, Sambane, Ho Hong Pe. Gaharna, Gaharna, Ho Hong Pe. Gaharna Baya, Ho Hong Pe. Naya Ho Banga. Maya Randa, Hong Be, Hongane, Yana, Ganga, Do, Sanjo, Do, Nam, Kaka, Genda, Choma, Ron, Samle, Sayanda, Maze,
My nature is primordial, innate wrath. The space-pervading gods of wrath and the hindrance-taming wrathful goddesses have set the boundaries that no one may transcend. Om Vajra Kroja Raksha Brum Hom.
Ramyanga Om Banja Agama Om Banja Badenga Om Banja Bube Om Banja Dube Om Banja Aloke Om Banja Gende Om Banja Nebete Om Banja Sarva Pendra Amrita Homage Om Ahom Sarva Pendra Amrita Homage Homage, Homage, Sarvape, Amada Homage, Homage, Maharata Dola Mandala Homage, Homage, Maharata Dola Mandala Homage, Homage, Maharata Mandala Homage, Homage, Mahabalenda Homage, Homage, Mahabalenda Homage, Homage,
Home, emanated mirrored forms from inside the Dharmadhatu, basic space, Lama Yidam Dakini, and the oceanic host of oath-bound ones, please remember your heart pledge and send down great resplendence.
Om Benzan Guru Deva Daike Samaya Jana Avensha
Page 11. Home, home, in the condition where phenomena are empty and without a reference point, I cultivate compassion, love, and kindness for all sentient beings. From the causal syllable Ri arise Yam, Ram, Bam, Lam, and Sum, which respectively turn into space, wind, fire, water, earth, and Mount Meru, composed of precious substances. At its center is a multicolored lotus, at the heart of which is a cross vajra with a broom at its hub, transforming into a boundless jeweled palace, replete with perfect qualities and dazzling light. In the protection sphere surrounding it, upon a multicolored lotus and the sun and moon, is a Ri, the expression of my own awareness, which transforms into the Lotus-born, white with a tinge of red and with the youthful radiance of a child. My right hand holds a vajra at the heart, while my left holds a cup filled with nectar placed in equipoise below my navel. My crown is adorned with a lotus hat, a vulture's feather, strips of silk, and a mirror emanating rays of light. I am garbed in a brocade cloak, red silken dharma robes, and a blue gown. My ears, hands, feet, neck, and waist are all adorned with golden jewels. Sitting gracefully in Vajra pose, a Khatvanga staff resting on my left shoulder. Surrounding me are Guru Tochinksal's 4 classes, Guru Rinpoche's 8 manifestations, Dakas, Dakinis, warrior kings, Dharma protectors, and a host of haughty ones, all of whom are gathering like rain clouds in the sky. From the body, speech, and mind of those envisioned deities, light streams forth to invite the Guru and the 3 roots from the southwestern Yagtail Isle, which then appear and merge with me. In the northwest land of Uddiyana, born in a lotus pollen heart, is the one renowned as Lotus-born, who found wondrous and supreme accomplishment and is surrounded by a host of Dakas and Dakinis. Emulating you, I will devote myself to practice. Please come here and grant your blessings. Vajra Samaja.
ya ye de den zebe zebe den la yo so zo da ja go som dama ye de ne le de son
Home, please remain on this delightful seat at the center of this splendid, boundless palace, emanating bodies as many as there are atoms in the universe. I pay homage with devoted body, speech, and mind.
Samaya Ditali Ade Bovo Pati Zago Onjuyon Shaze Meto Bema Medada Shaze Nangadorone Juba
Page 15. Home, I offer water for drinking, water for bathing the feet, flowers, incense, lamplight, fragrances, food, and music, such as that of drums and conch shells. I offer supreme Amrita composed of the 8 main components and 1,000 branches, Rakta formed of causes and conditions, and an embellished Torma. The Yabum union is supreme delight, the final truth, a state of innate, empty bliss. Please accept this wondrous offering.
Pinza Amerta Maharata Mahabale Kahe Anuranga Manda Mahamed Pinza Shen Dong Adong Shen Na La Me Kula Sanja Lo Zha Shen Dong La Dong La Me Song La Song Zha Hong Dong Xian Sa Sa Xian Dong La Me To La Song Zha Yong Dian Ta Ye Nga Wa Yong Dian
Home, homage and praise to the Guru's form, appearing yet void, void yet appearing. Ah, homage and praise to the Guru's speech, heard yet void, void yet heard. Home, homage and praise to the Guru's mind, void yet clear, clear yet void. Praise to you who are endowed with boundless qualities and tame beings with enlightened deeds.
Atam je la me son so long a ye me na de ye chen do tam je la me do ye ne chu ge ga ne da bong san za je ran zhou zhou so zhe pe zhou wei dong se xin de ne yam je ka la je ma sa ba de ye jen go ma de ba de me da gu.
Page 18. Home, home, home. All appearance is the Guru's form, primarily present, ah la la. All sound is the Guru's speech, inseparably united wind and mantra, the primordial nada melody. All thoughts are the Guru's mind, originally pure in the primordial Dharmakaya. The sound of mantra echoes naturally across the cosmos of a billion worlds. By sending it out, it fulfills the needs of sentient beings and when it gathers back, it merges with the space of the primordial mother. Until clarity is achieved, I will visualize and meditate. Until this practice is accomplished, I will not abandon it.
the Guru Jago Kamni Dela Guru Tupakanana, the Kosum took the Tupa, or in Guru Rinpoche, the Tupa Tamjin and the Kitani, Lama Kosum took a Tupa Sun, non-dark Sun, non-dark Sun, the Nawa Rapanga, the Oishiro Bason, Margaret, Namin Tatawa Drewson, the data of Cha Yongo Yori. The day coming that the Lamas, but the say Lama, Naga Lama, Sao Lama, Sumi, or say Lama that the town Tabelina, Kotroko in Tabelina, Lama gave a shilly, Talachi, should take it here being shady. The Devina couple gave us somebody nature, George about Tamchi, the San took some salon at the date of the Lama Triple Chat, the Yori. The Rosso Chatam and I take to George, Rory took some of the Chaco Tabarato. They say Lama, Nangalama, they will encourage some day. There is Sanjay, Thomas, took to the Togi. There is Sancho to the Senti, the also. Sancho Senti, they carried or Senti, Tamdilia, or some Sabati, but they Sancho sorry. So cover something sorry, Kashiri or Kashiri, Kashi Cha, Kashi Danguri. They marry Sandy or something, Sabate Beba song. They could have Sancho same song. Could have Sancho same day. Julia Jena, Caripelli or Tata Sandy John D. Sorry, 17 nam the Sandy. Senti Tamje Sanjay, oh, there, Senti Tamje, Jatochi Chataver, oh, young Lord to me, Lord to the mother, data, the Mayan, the man, Deletty, the Chapo Chatri, Kawatami Chapo, the watches and what you did not thinking, what does it charge or retail good body, similar device. There is one. There is none Tora. There is Didi Sharmure, Daji Sharmure. There is anything on your lover to my the brother.
And so, when we come to the mantra recitation, Guru Rinpoche's mantra recitation, but before that there is a praise on page 17. And so when we praise, and any praise to a guru really, is generally a praise to the guru's body, speech, and mind. And what the Guru's body, speech, and mind really represent, what we actually praise, is appearance, the nature of appearances of sound and of awareness of mind. And so through this praise, therefore, we recognize on the inner level that all appearances are the deity, all sounds are the mantra, and all thoughts are the display of primordial wisdom. And so these three, the deity, mantra, and wisdom, are the result, the fruition. And so for the Guru also we have an outer, inner, and a secret aspect. First, the outer Guru. The outer Guru manifests as the Nirmanakaya form in this world, as the spiritual teacher, for example, or anyone really who even just says a word of Dharma, or anyone who engages in activities that are driven by love and compassion. So we can say that anyone who possesses bodhichitta is a Nirmanakaya. And so it also, the Nirmanakaya also appears in the animal realm, for example. There's animals who protect and help each other. It really appears throughout the 6 realms of samsara. So that's the outer Lama. Then the inner Lama is love, or loving kindness. Before the Buddha attained enlightenment, first the Buddha gave rise to bodhichitta, the mind set on enlightenment. And so what does that actually mean, this mind of bodhichitta, or a mind set on enlightenment? It's the mind that wishes for all sentient beings to attain enlightenment. So it is an immeasurable, all-encompassing mind, or it is an unbiased mind. And that is unlike our samsaric ordinary love that is very biased. We love some, but we don't love everyone. We love some, we are attached to some, and we hate others. Whereas the Buddha's love is immeasurable, encompassing all beings. And this is called the relative bodhicitta. And so what is the benefit of cultivating this relative bodhicitta? So the Buddha said, all sentient beings are actually Buddhas. So all beings are Buddhas. Their true nature is like ocean water. But then the Buddha also said, but beings are obscured by adventitious stains. And this adventitious stain, this stain is this grasping at me and the self. And this has become solidified, very deep. So it is just like for many aeons, for a very long time, the water has frozen into ice. And due to this solidification of fixation, of this grasping at me and mine, due to this, we begin to perceive everything as concrete and real, the outer universe, and also all the beings within that universe. We grasp at them as real, truly existing. And because we cling to the true existence of the outer world, the way it appears, we also believe in the true existence of the thoughts that arise in our own minds regarding these appearances. Excuse me. So basically, this adventitious stain is the dualistic perception of self and other. So this is this which all arises from the first perception of an me, an I. So that is the adventitious stain.
대바야 요 말이 망바라 요 망바라 하고 서는 요 말이 한마고로 다 망바라 대바 미자 망바 싸고 요리 별로 네 마고 포레지 요가 요 말이 야디 먼저 누가 가지고 라마지게 샘치 저거로 장도 망아야 봐 그거서 나이도 봐 걸어도 콩 나이도 봐 토크도 나이도 봐 토로 장 나이도만 막 톱도 잘 치시야요 말에 참 나이도만 욕소 송들이야 이콩 남만한 거는 나이도 맞아 막 톱이 요게 라면 되는데 장 나이도 톱 소해야 돼 톱아 소는 뭐지 차 내가 가야지 나 주셔요디 나장 로버 좀 열이 그래 이제 가야지 참마디 나나나 참마나나 들이다다다다던 마디 들이다니 차는 거래 이 망보사 소리들이 차로 거는 차송 될 코반도 차그럼다 그래 좀 들이 데려다다 라면토라 똥생 쌀라 쌀진 똥송 라면토기 가래 나의 잡아도 이제 맞아 버려 되마다 버려 맞아가 돼 하고서 될 demba 니고래 뭐또 나게 요래 될 돈담 그 demba 되는 demba 돈담 잡았던 지시로 제 돈담 되고 하고서나 내lok도 저 뒤에 하고 요래 내lok도 사자 접어 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 가시라 나의 잡아도 하고 나의 잡아 맞아 나의 잡아 맞아 하고 될 돈담 그 되면 통지요래
So, so this self-grasping is grasping at me. When does it arise? First, so and that's what the Buddha said in that statement. Actually, the adventitious stain. So it's the adventitious is the keyword here. So adventitious means momentarily. So not in the past. And if you understand it, if you recognize it now, you will not accumulate it. It won't be there in the future. So right now we are kind of habituating to it. So it is also in a way there in the future, but it always arises just in that moment. It only exists in that moment. So it's adventitious means momentarily, fleeting. So for example, if I take this this bowl and look at this bowl, and then momentarily I think this is my bowl. I'm going to drink from it, and there's no other thought about it. It's just it's my bowl. In that moment, I think that. For example, there was a Drukpa Kagyu Lama who had a disciple, and that disciple once asked him for teachings on the nature of the mind. And so then that Lama said to him, "But first, bring me yourself, that I." That I'm going to teach you. So then with that he sent him home, and then he was trying to find this I, this me, but he couldn't find it anywhere. So and then he said that Lama said before he left, he said, "I won't teach you anything before you bring me that I. So you better find it." So then he went to look for the I, and he spent all night long looking for this I, this me, and then already the sun was rising in the morning, and he still didn't find it. And then he went back to that Lama, and so the Lama asked him, "So where is it? Have you found it?" And he said, "Rinpoche, I couldn't find it." And then he said, "Then what are you doing here?" And he said, "Well, I'm here to receive the Dharma." And so there it is. Now he found it. I am here to receive the Dharma. So the I has arisen momentarily. In this moment, it has arisen. And this is how it always arises over and over again. It arises me, I. And then this solidifies into a very strong self-grasping. So it becomes like this iceberg, like a huge mountain of ice. And this is what we call this ice-like samsara. We accumulate more and more and more of it momentarily as it arises one by one. So in that praise here on page 17, it says, "I mention praise to the Guru's mind, void yet clear, clear yet void." So what is the Guru's mind really? It is the mind that knows that this self, this me, does not actually exist inherently. The Guru's mind recognizes its illusory nature. And then the Guru introduces you to that by first teaching the twofold truth, the two truths. And then when you come to the ultimate truth, on the ultimate level, it is said that within the expanse of primordial wisdom, all the Buddhas are one. And when you realize that, you realize the nature of your mind. And that is really the essence of Mahamudra or Dzogchen, whatever you practice. The point is to realize that this me that you believe in and does not actually inherently exist. When you understand, when you realize that, it is that this is what we call to see the ultimate truth.
Lamas 탁탁랑 남도 어쩌봐도 떨어뜨려 라라라라 탁탁라랑 상계 동들이 상계 고방대로 야지 이대에서 상소라 이 세들랑 갔다가 자우리 소화하고 그래 오 상계 때에서 이랑시 상계 라시 상계시 발대래 이랑마다라시 상계도 저기에서 하고 또 그래 들이들이다 마양을 통일에 루모디 통도 도고세 돼서 양에서 쪽으로 배우신 모래 데이터 참아양데 마양에 돼서 양 리스로 빠져 갈래져 빠쪽으로 마양들랑 뒤에 빠쪽으로 로잡 참아 뭐 내가 마 거기 갈리 당나들이 감성 생기는 팽이고 다들이 사족tempo 배우게 마지 왜 쪽고요 로마답지 로마니 마도 루친 가지는 가지 쪽 내가 다 걸어서요 이제 세메 봤던 거요 세미지 세지요 말이 상마지 버려서 말이 양만이 속숨니 꼬라자고 이 속숨도 축한다 버리 짝주세 민한다 버리 봐도 독자 말이 양을 다 보시 가면 제 이제 다 손없이 가면 돼요 그래서 좀 고막 터서 다 생각을 지어요 생活딱 보니 세면도 세면도 오요 말이 라리 소되면 수만하지 들들이 다 당하야고 양 들때 정래 양대 양 나도 양네 들이쳐도 들이 그 잡아 콜로를 저거래 들이 주로다 또다 즉 맞아요 말 그래 내록 돌아 투바 봐 내록 돌아 투바 콜로메서 꿈지로 시려면 랑 세베 내록 또 대통과 타락까지 다 사바 재미거래지 잡을 피고 삼라 주 나한테 따르면 내가 차지 대하고 그래 오다 페이스데 라나 피바 이나 대와지 그때 삼바를 못 되지 들이다담하 야완
So here in the praise, it says homage and praise to the Guru's mind, void yet clear, clear yet void. So clear means that when you see the nature of the mind, when you know the nature of the mind, you know all phenomena and that exist. You realize everything. And that is why Milarepa had said that when you there is no other perfection of wisdom than realizing the nature of your mind. That is the perfection of wisdom. And so empty, the void or empty, yet clear, clear, yet empty. So to realize the nature of everything, how things really are, it is said that you should not look outward and trying to analyze the samsara and nirvana, but look inward, look at your mind. When you do not pay attention to the thoughts in your mind, then this concept of me constantly arises and becomes very thick. As an antidote to that, we practice the deity. That is why we practice the deity or the syllable Hong. When you visualize the syllable Hong, when you meditate on the Hong, there is no thought of self and other. So you are resting in the natural state. The natural state of the mind is the mind that is beyond self and other. That's your true nature. And so that is the emptiness here. Emptiness, what does that really mean? It means the absence of a true existence of self and other. And so when you realize that a self does not exist, then you also realize that others do not inherently exist. So that is the root, really, or the fundamental nature of your mind. That is here the Guru's mind. The Guru's mind is the mind that has no dualistic thought. And when you have no dualistic thought, your mind becomes the Guru's mind. So it is just a difference between ice and water, really. The difference between your mind and the Guru's mind is just a difference of grasping or not grasping at a self. That is the only difference. So all appearances, it says in the next page, all appearances are the Guru's form. So temporarily, various appearances manifest. But ultimately, all of these appearances are the Guru's form. So we have mentioned before, the Buddha had said all sentient beings are actually Buddhas. They are only obscured by adventitious stains. So that is that stain, that grasping at a self, at me. And so that is what we need to overcome. And the Buddha gave us skillful methods to overcome this. And so there's different levels of the path. First, there is the path of the pratimoksha, of individual liberation. And so here the Buddha said, you have to abandon harming others entirely. That is one method. And then when you do that, eventually you come to the bodhisattva path where you have to accomplish the benefit of others entirely. So your mind becomes broader here. And then when the mind becomes really vast, and the mind is full with bodhichitta, eventually self-grasping will just disappear on its own, because you love others. And then when self-grasping disappears, you see the ultimate bodhicitta, which is this mind here, the mind that is clear yet empty. So the clear mind, the clarity of your mind recognizes whether or not a self is really there. And it recognizes whatever thought arises in the mind. And so when various fixations arise within the mind, and we need to meditate on the Hung syllable, for example. That is one skillful method. We visualize the deity, or we meditate on the syllable Hung. Because when you do so, you will not think about the self. And that is also the purpose of the mantra recitation, or visualizing the mantra garland, like the Hung surrounded by the mantra garland. And because when you visualize the mantra garland, the essence of the mantra, the meaning of all mantra is emptiness, is that all things lack any inherent concrete existence, are empty of true existence. That's really what the mantras all say. For example, the Vajrakilaya mantra, Vajrakili Kilaya Sarva Bignam Bamhumpet, is actually, Vajrakili Kilaya is Vajrakumara, but what he represents is the space-like empty nature of the mind that transcends birth and death. There are many among you who practice Vajrakilaya. And all of these practices ultimately come down to a single essence. And that is what we need to understand, that ultimate single essence. And that is mentioned here. It is the Guru's mind that is clear and empty. So understand that first, and then experience that through practice. So clearly understand, where you feel that now I have understood that. There is no self and other that inherently exists. In my mind, there is no self. And then based on that understanding, practice, gain experience, and finally you will realize it. The reason why we have not realized it is because we constantly grasp it as self. And that is why we need the skillful method of immeasurable love. So ultimately, all sentient beings possess Buddha nature. And that is the secret Guru's mind, the secret mind of the Guru. Everyone has that. Everyone has Buddha nature. And when you realize it, then you become a Buddha. But when you do not realize it, you will temporarily wander in samsara. So also on the next page where it says all appearances are the Guru's form, it means to recognize that everything that appears it does not inherently exist, but rather is a manifestation of mind, really. And then also the mantra that we mentioned, Guru Rinpoche's mantra that we explained yesterday, it essentially, we mentioned it Bema, Siddhi Hung, essentially it means being free from clinging, attachment. And the ultimate clinging attachment is the clinging to the self, the I. So again, the mantra has the same meaning as any of the other mantras. The purpose is to realize that your true nature, what you really are. There is no self and no other. That is the ultimate truth. And that is the meaning of all the mantras that we recite. As we mentioned yesterday, this quote by the Buddha, and the Buddha said, I've taught the Dharma in various ways throughout thousands of worlds, but all these words have a single meaning, and you should practice this single meaning. And when you realize it, you realize the nature of your mind. And that really is the perfection of wisdom. And that is the Guru's mind. And so as a method to realize it, you can practice the Guru, bring to mind the Guru or the deity, or you can just meditate on the Hung syllable. The mind of all the Buddhas of the 3 times gathers in the Hung syllable. When you meditate on the Hung, there is no concept of self and other. So let's always focus on that. Also, that's the purpose of visualizing the mantra garland. It is in order for your mind to sustain an ongoing state of mindfulness. So ideally, you visualize the Hung surrounded by the mantra garland, or if that's difficult, just visualize the Hung syllable itself. And just recognize, have an awareness that my mind, the Guru's mind, and the Buddha's mind are one. For example, it is like we have 3 ice blocks together. They seem separate when they are in an unmelted state, but when they melt, they all become the same water. So understand it like this when you engage in practice. So you engage in a sadhana practice based on the understanding that my mind, the Guru's mind, and the Buddha's mind are all one. So that is the meaning here of the Guru's mind. And the Guru's mind is represented by this syllable Hung. The Hung represents the mind of the Guru or all the Buddhas. And so ultimately the Guru gathers in that Hung, and then that Hung ultimately gathers in emptiness, so it dissolves into emptiness. And then that emptiness is the dissolution of your own thoughts into emptiness. And so it is also said that the mind that is free from having to, there's nothing to be removed from the mind, and there is nothing to be added, new to be added to the mind. That mind that needs no removing and no adding, that is the Buddha. And so all we need to do is clear away this fleeting fixation to self and other, and then the mind abides in its natural space-like state. So you understand that, and then you practice on the basis of this understanding, and you will eventually gain this experience where you feel that this mind, this is the Buddha. This mind is the Guru's mind. You can experience that through your own practice. And then next, regarding the mantra recitation, there's there's basically a shorter and a longer version of chanting the mantra. So we are chanting this a short version here, and then there's also another one. And so we can see this morning sort of as our practice session, because this afternoon we're going to do a recording of our chanting. And that's actually extremely beneficial, because if you participate in that recording, your voice will be captured on the recording, and that recording may remain for many hundreds of years to come for many future practitioners. And whoever in the future plays that recording, hears that mantra, will also hear your voice. And the mantra sound will also kind of spread throughout the 3 realms of samsara and benefit all sentient beings there. And that is because of the power of bodhichitta when we chant the mantra. So, and because it's so beneficial, I want to make this recording. Actually, in past drupchans, past retreats, we have made these recordings, and I've always received a CD, have a CD made out of these recordings, and I'm playing these recordings in my cabin really continuously on the loop because it's so beneficial. And we need that really until we attain enlightenment. Until the mind attains enlightenment, it will just go on, even beyond this life, anywhere in the 3 realms of samsara. We may even go to the lower realms and wander around there for some time. But we shouldn't see that as a negative thing. The lower realms actually can be seen as a cleansing place, or like a surgical facility, a hospital where we purify our negative karma. So it's not necessarily a bad place. We need to purify our dualistic grasping. And then we attain enlightenment. And then the mind goes on to exist in the Pure Lands. But the mind will always go on. That being said, the mind is without coming and going. And so that is what the 37 bodhisattva practices say. And so with this understanding of the importance, please pay attention when you chant the mantra in melody and try to really follow the melody, try to really follow the tune of the melody. This morning you can use it as your practice session, and in the afternoon we are going to record it. And so again, Dharma friends, the purpose of all of this is just a single one. There's just a single point really that we need to get, and that is we need to realize the nature of the mind. The omniscient Longchen Rabjam had said that when you realize the natural state of your mind, there is no higher learning than that. So it's all about that. It's about realizing your true nature. And to do that, we need a skillful method. And the skillful method first is to cultivate immeasurable love. And that is the wish to benefit all sentient beings in the world. And if you always hold this wish, eventually the self will disappear, and you will always want to benefit others. And that altruistic mind is for your own greatest benefit, and it brings happiness to others. And that's really the essence, or kind of the real characteristic of what love is. So therefore, please now chant the mantra.
다다 오 상속수바 치고 담이를 강인 저것도 고소로 나와 타완도 제 랍송 이랑 집을 살면 따라 대지가 집고 좀 상속세는 나 집고 차야래 옛날들이 족지 빠트를 보지 가리송 말이잖아 지는뭐가 도라가 도랑 뭐질래긴지 지는 몽동아 배서 동이 되게 뉴모가 팔래가 파장로요 이 참에시나 소소 동의 가려를 문의대 오 동의가 폐결해야지 짝주집안에 세면 좋아 랩토그래 이 하자 좋아 가르쳐 버리냐 명을 좋아 이 토론적인 거래야지.
And then there's one question that that someone had asked, and I thought of sharing that because I feel that this question always comes up, and it's really very beneficial for everyone. And so often the question comes up that there's the bodhisattvas, the great bodhisattvas, who, even though they're great bodhisattvas, they still experience all kinds of difficulties and sickness and so forth and pain. And so, how does one really become like that if one is a great bodhisattva? And so, but they see it in a different way, and so. When they think about their own experience of suffering, this is how they think. So Dzogchen Pato Rinpoche had said that I do not wish for happiness or like pleasure. I prefer pain. And so why? Because when pain arises, then I experience pain. I am purifying past negative karma. But when I experience pleasure and happiness, the 3 poisons only increase. So this is what I do not prefer. And so actually when suffering and pain arises, it purifies negative karma, it purifies afflictive emotions, and it eventually one becomes free of suffering. So now the way I see suffering is actually as a beneficial thing, not as a negative thing. It's just like doing a surgery. When you see it in this way, when you think that this is actually something that I need to experience, I need to purify, then a more positive feeling regarding the pain may arise. So this is a really important question, and this question really comes from a person's experience. So it's something you should keep in mind. Also read the Shantideva dedication prayer over and over again, and you will gain a good understanding of what we just said. Shantideva explains that very clearly. So now let's take a break.
Please wait for announcements. Thank you.